Hi, welcome to my video. This is Vicky Mongre, your immigrant coach. Please note, I am an immigrant myself and extremely proud of it. I wanted to talk to you about issues related to new immigrants that migrate to countries such as Canada, US, maybe some countries in Europe as well, with regards to challenges faced in the employment market, which is when they start looking for a job, they come up against these three major challenges that I have surveyed, researched, and experienced firsthand as well. So I'd like to talk about these challenges briefly, and then maybe talk about some kind of a solution for each of these challenges, the way immigrants can deal with these challenges when looking for a job once they come into the country as legal residents. The first one I've come up against, and I would suggest, or I would say that at least 60% to 70% of surveyed immigrants have responded to as a major challenge, being lack of Canadian or local experience, which means that most employers in the Canadian market are looking for candidates with local or Canadian experience. Obviously, a new immigrant that comes into the country does not possess that experience. So what happens? The next one being your local qualifications and education that you brought with you from back home are not recognized here in the employment market. And the third one that we're going to talk about today is your communication skills as an immigrant not being as per the expectations of a Canadian employer. Not to say that the English spoken is not of good quality or is grammatically wrong, but here the major emphasis is on an accent that each immigrant brings with him or her from different parts of the world. So let's talk about the first challenge a bit more, which is lack of, Canadian or local experience. Now, my response to a question of that sort in an interview when a Canadian employer says that you have great education, qualifications, blah, 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 unfortunately you do not have any Canadian experience. And in case I was an accountant, my response probably would have been, hiring manager, sir, is a debit not a debit in the Canadian environment? Is a credit not a credit in the Canadian environment? Are accounting principles not the same anywhere else in the world? I understand that there might be some nuances or differences related to taxation or the way you treat certain expenses or so on and so forth. However, broadly, the overview, the perspective in terms of accounting principles do not change throughout the world. In case I was a salesperson, my response to that would have been very simply put. During a sales transaction in Canada is not a product or a service exchanged for compensation in terms of dollars and cents. In a sales transaction, is a customer not treated as a customer? Is a customer not dealt with in terms of importance given to the customer in a sales transaction or a sales environment within the Canadian environment, so to say? And I can give such responses, or I can come up with such answers to this challenge as a rebuttal, irrespective of the environment that you're working in, be it manufacturing, be it financial services, be it production, be it different areas, sales, marketing, and so on and so forth. Let's move on to the next challenge, which is your education qualifications from back home are not recognized. And once again, as a candidate looking for a job, my response would be, I have a degree from back home, or I have a chartered accountancy from back home, or a postgraduate degree from back home, and I'm sure that an organization such as the World Education Service, which offers equivalency, has done their bit and their part in being able to ascertain that my qualifications are equivalent to either a degree or a postgraduate certification in my area of interest. And here's a letter from them stating so. So that's the way I would deal with something like this. Having said that, when I move on to the third challenge, which is communication skills not being asked for expectations, remember here the focus is not on the quality of the English that the immigrants speak. In fact, many times immigrants speak better English than the locals because they have their own accent, and which ends with kind of an A. So what we are talking about here is the ability to understand simple communication. And that's what is the basis of communication. The message transferred from the source to the destination needs to be understood. And that is all that good communication is all about. It doesn't matter what accent, it doesn't matter how grammatically correct or what jargon you use, but as long as the communication has been understood by the person receiving it, is good communication. Yes, I do understand that it becomes difficult sometimes when people come in with a very heavy accent that one cannot understand what one is speaking. And in that situation, there are umpteen number of resources available where you can enroll and study English or enroll and study public speaking, going for some communications courses, so on and so forth. So this is very briefly, because it's my introductory video, and as you can see, I'm not a professional video producer. I'm just an immigrant that's wanting to reach out and help other immigrants. So please bear with the quirks here and the video production. But anyways, the content is what I would like to focus on. And I am in the process of launching a product known as Job Search Strategies for New Immigrants to Canada on December 27th. I hope you're able to go to my website, which is www.immigrantcoach.com, spelled IMMIGRANTCOACH.com. Once again, this is Vicky Mongre, your immigrant coach. Next year, I'm planning to launch a product which is being developed right now, known as Mindset, Meaning, and Methodology. You might have a question as to why am I equipped to give you this advice, or what makes me an authority on this situation when, as an immigrant, I've just spent the last 8 years in the Canadian environment. Let me tell you. I've been an employment consultant for these 8 years in the country and have been interacting on a daily basis with clients on one hand and candidates on the other. And I am in a position where I'm exposed to these challenges, these solutions, these tactics, these strategies on a regular basis. Furthermore, I'm also on the Ask the Experts panel for the Canadian Immigrant magazine. I have recently been nominated for 2 very prestigious awards. One, the Toronto Star Immigrant Champion Award from the TRIAC, which is an organization related to education for immigrants, and the HR Summit Awards, where I've been nominated for the Globe and Mail Corporate Social Responsibility Award. But that's enough about me. I hope to be back with you with more videos that are educative and content rich that will help you in your search for a job in this environment. Thank you once again. This is Vicky Mongre, your immigrant coach. And do not forget to check out www.immigrantcoach.com.